Whew, good morning, good morning, good morning. Well, that was encouraging to watch yesterday as a Ravens fan for sure. The three things jump out at me, go right through it here. Let's get to the games afterwards. But what a great game yesterday. First thing is, I guess Derrick Henry's going to still play for another couple years. That was pretty impressive. The Ravens built their offensive line to be run blockers. It's not a secret. It's been doing this, really ever since they started running the football in 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, et cetera. The guys they draft on the offensive line are better run blockers. So, when we drop back and pass and Lamar's running around and we don't know exactly where he's going to be, the pass protection doesn't look great. But the offensive line looked fantastic yesterday because they're just leaning on, a weaker run defense with the Packers. They're not the best defense in the world, but man, some of those holes were gigantic, and Derrick Henry certainly made them pay. Very fun to watch, very reminiscent of some of the golden days here in the Ravens era with Lamar. But that just leads me to the second thing is Tyler Huntley was great last night. So yeah, he's had moments before where he's flashed, but I think he's going to be able to compete for a starting job somewhere next year. There's a lot of bad quarterbacks, as we'll see this afternoon. And Huntley was spot on. Something about playing the Packers there for Huntley because he did it. I forget how many years ago it was, a couple years ago now. But yeah, he had a great game against Packers where we lost the 2-point conversion at the end of the game. But yeah, Huntley just was super efficient, answered every time the Packers came back. So that was the second thing, right, was Huntley. Then the third thing is Malik Willis is definitely going to get paid. Don't really want to talk too much about the Packers because it doesn't really matter. I don't really care exactly what they're doing with their franchise. But, man, they were terrible yesterday. They only had one bright spot, which is Malik Willis in the passing game was fantastic. How it is relevant to the Ravens is I don't know what the hell happened out there. Like, I really don't know what to make of it. If you haven't seen Malik Willis throw the ball before, that's really not his specialty. Deep middle throws, like 15, 20 yards down the field, deep out routes. He was spectacular. Our secondary was not. Things can be corrected. Bad things happen. It is what it is. So we catch a break there as the Packers were trying to come back. Malik Willis gets hurt for a play or two, or at least for the rest of that drive. And we get a lucky interception, but, we're in the right place at the right time. So Humphrey gets the pick. But my main takeaway from the game is, the things that were bad on defense as far as them being wide open, I hope it's correctable. I don't know if it is. The pass rush is still not getting home. So not great. But at the same time, that's the type of offense that I think everybody enjoys watching. It's just pound the ball, wear the other team down. So, yeah, they were home, and they have pretty good receivers, and they caught us a handful of times. But besides that, the overall takeaway is that was just a great game to watch. And it leads into the conclusion with Harbaugh where you got to give it to him. The team was ready to play. It was a good game plan. He corrected his mistakes from the week before. Is it enough to save his job? I don't know. I guess a lot depends on what happens here in Cleveland this afternoon. But definitely a great game for the Ravens. Not great for me earlier in the day. Not great for me on Christmas. Lions died on me against the Vikings. I lose a stupid team total because the Vikings score at the end. And I don't know what the hell happened to the Chargers secondary to start the game yesterday. Then the Texans just dominate. I mean, just an easy win. Chargers lose on the wrong side of it. So definitely need to bounce back today. Excited about most of these games. There's a couple of duds. We'll go through those real quick and then give you my thoughts here on the games. Cardinals-Bengals is the first game we're staying away from. It's Cardinals-Bengals, two irrelevant teams. I don't know. Bengals were great last week against Miami. They're favored by 7. I don't think that makes me feel great about taking them, but who knows? Cardinals-Bengals, we're staying away from that one, and we're going to stay away from Saints-Titans. No thoughts on that game whatsoever. I can't get these teams right, feels like all season, so I'm not going to try today. And Jags-Colts, I'm staying away from. The Colts are done. They're officially done, not just figuratively done. They've been figuratively done ever since, Rivers and company couldn't pull out that win in Seattle. That pretty much made them, they were running thin there going against the Niners last week, and then they lost that game. So they have nothing to play for. I feel like everyone's going to take the Jags today. So I don't know. I'm not betting the Jags game no matter what. I'll just save it for the playoffs, but I get them wrong literally, I think, every single week since they lost to the Texans, or excuse me, right, lost to the Texans, came back and kicked the Chargers just every week. So I'm not touching it. Jags, Colts, and then at 4 o'clock, Giants and the Raiders. Yeah, no one's watching that game. Everyone's watching Eagles, Bills there at 4. So Giants are playing the Raiders. Both teams probably want to lose as they're gonna, get better draft picks. Giants might have their quarterback. The Raiders 100% do not have their quarterback. They will be drafting a quarterback. And yeah, that's about the extent of the analysis I have for that game. So, all right, games we like. First game, Seattle and Carolina. This game's got so much on the line here. Simple terms, the Panthers, doesn't really matter here what they do in this game if the Bucs beat the Dolphins. So if the Bucs beat the Dolphins, then next week, Panthers Seahawks is for the NFC South. If the Panthers do win this game and the Bucs lose, the Panthers will clinch the NFC South today. So there's a lot playing for it. Seattle's got every single thing to play for in this game. They have the inside track on the 1 seed. Niners are staring at them. Rams are still staring at them. Bears are staring at them. But the Seahawks just have to win the last 2 games. And next week they get San Francisco. Here's my play in the game. I'm going to go with the over. It's going to be Sam Darnold going back to Carolina. And I just do not trust the Carolina defense. I think that it's unpredictable on what kind of game I'm going to get from Bryce Young. In certain matchups, I like Carolina's defense. In this one, I really don't. I think Seattle's going to be – they had a good week last week against the Rams. They had an extra couple days to prepare. Darnold gets to go back to Carolina. And the secondary for Carolina is really weak. I think JSN is going to have a great day. I would like the prop bets for Seattle receivers. Feels like Shaheed's going to be a nice play today as well. They're used to going to the East Coast. They've done this a bunch of times this year, and they play well on the road. With that being said, the reason why I'm still going to take the over instead of Seattle -7 is Carolina, they're going to feel good about this game. They feel great about themselves, and Seattle's defense was leaking last week there against the Rams. They might need another week to correct things. Maybe they pull it out at the end. I think the number is only 42.5. So I will take the over in that game, Seattle and Carolina, over 42.5. Second game I like is Steelers-Browns here. So, oh boy, need the Browns. I'm going to go with the under. The under is 35.5. I know it's a low number, though it's going to be rainy. Pittsburgh's going to play this game so conservative. This is basically a playoff game. They know we're going to beat them next week. They know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. Ravens are going to win that game next week, whether it's Huntley or Lamar. If they get another shot at Pittsburgh after what happened a few weeks ago, they're going to win that game, especially if it's on the heels of Pittsburgh losing this game in Cleveland. Cleveland really wants to win this game. It's one of those games where we're lucky that Cleveland hates Pittsburgh so much. I know, they got draft picks and all that jazz, but you just can't turn it off with Pittsburgh, with stupid fans, the media. You think we don't like them. Cleveland hates them. I know they're going to get up for this game. I know the defense is going to play well for Cleveland, and I know Pittsburgh's going to be conservative. I have no idea what's going to happen when Shedeur drops back. Just praying good things happen, but I'll go with the under because I think Cleveland is going to really try to win this game, which means they're going to run the football also. They know they can't just drop back and let the Steelers pass rush come after them. So 35.5 is going to be my number. Excuse me, is the number. That's going to be my bet. What I really think is going to happen in this game is it's going to come down to Rodgers at the end in the fourth quarter. I think the Browns are going to do a hell of a job to tease us and stay alive. And it's going to come down to Rodgers needing to get down the field. And I don't know if he's going to do it or not, but for his sake, he better do it because we're going to absolutely annihilate him next week if we get the opportunity. It'd be great for everybody. Great for the NFL, great for Ravens fans. Game will 100% be the Sunday night game next week because everybody's going to want to watch it. And even if you have Bucs Panthers and Seahawks 49ers, this game will 100% be the Sunday night game next week. I just feel like it's coming down to Rodgers either making a play or screwing it up. I really hope I'm right. I hope the Browns can stay there. I don't want to take the 3.5 points because I feel like that'd be more betting with the heart. The head tells me the Browns are going to have a hell of a time trying to score. So I will take the under there. Yeah, so under 35.5. Next game is Bucks Dolphins. I was half right about the Bucks last week there, as I had the Panthers, but I had the over. The Bucks will score this week. I think we're getting great value. I'm going to go over 44.5. The Dolphins gave up 1,000,000 points to the Bengals last week. I don't really know exactly what the hell's going on with the Dolphins defense. It's not going to get much better this week, is my gut feeling, against Baker and the Bucks. A game they have to win because the Panthers are playing at 1 o'clock. Also, the last thing the Bucks need to do is lose this game. Watch the Panthers win, and then they have a home game next week that means nothing. That would be a huge drop for the Bucks. They're 5-1. Baker's, I think he was the favorite to win the MVP at that point. Bucks are just winning every single game. They beat the Seahawks in Seattle, and everything is just clicking for Tampa, and now it's just a disaster. So they could join the Lions and the Chiefs, and God forbid us, in having just the season from hell and not even making the playoffs, or they better just win this game against the Dolphins. I think it's going to be a close game. They haven't won in forever, the Bucks. I think they're going to have trouble winning this game. I think it's going to be a weird situation where the Dolphins might just win it. I'm not betting it because the Dolphins were so bad last week that I'll just take the over. So my gut tells me Dolphins keep it close, but I'll go over 44.5. Bucks and Dolphins. I'm taking the Patriots in a blowout. They probably could have made the spread 19, and I'd still take it. 13 is the number I'm getting. I'll pay a little extra juice instead of 13.5, just because. Yeah. So 13 is the number for the Patriots. I just don't see it. I think the Jets are so bad. They couldn't make this number high, make it as high as possible. I don't care how many guys the Patriots have not playing. I think the defense is going to play way better than it did against the Ravens last week. Patriots defense wasn't great. I think Vrabel was probably frustrated about it. They have the division staring at them. They still have the 1 seed, although the Broncos now have a really good track since the Chargers don't have as much to play for next week, and the Chargers didn't look good yesterday. But anyway, the Patriots still have a chance at this 1 seed. But more importantly, they got to make sure they lock up the division. They'll be motivated. They'll destroy the Jets. Jets might not score. So I'll go give the 13 points there with the Patriots. And then the late game today, it's going to be rainy. It's going to be bad weather, and it's going to feel like a playoff game here for Buffalo. They're going to play really conservative, I believe, against the Eagles defense. I'm going to go under. I know it's Josh Allen at home, but yeah, I'm going to go under. It's 44.5. It's like I said, the Bills are going to play super conservative. I know they want to win this game, but most importantly, they got to protect Josh Allen. The last thing they need is him running around and bad things happening here as they try to, build up some momentum to go into the playoffs. I don't feel like they think they need to win this game. Now, if the Patriots somehow fall at 1 o'clock, that would change things. But I think you're going to see a conservative game plan from Buffalo. And I think same from Philadelphia. Philly's got not a ton to play for. They're going to get the 2 or the 3 seed. And they're really trending towards the 3 seed as the Bears own the tiebreaker against them. So, yeah, I just think Philly's not pressed to win this game either. Both teams, it's a highlight game, right? Like you would think Eagles Bills were at the end of the season. Both teams are going to the playoffs, but if you open up the hood a little bit, there's not a ton to play for here. And I think both teams with the weather, like I said, I'm going to go under 44.5. I'll put out my bets later here for the Bears 49ers, but I can tell you right now that I think you're going to see a better defensive performance from San Francisco. Like they really let Phillip Rivers embarrass them on Monday night. They got bailed out by Brock Purdy and company. Niners offense looks great, kind of flying under the radar. They won't be going into tonight, into tomorrow morning. They'll be the talk because if they can win tonight, they're going to have a shot at the 1 seed, regardless of what Seattle does today. So they own the tiebreaker. San Francisco gets the 1 seed if they win tonight and then beat Seattle next week. That would make you think, man, Niners, highly motivated on defense. That's how I'm looking at it. On the offensive side, I'm not 100% sure destroying the Colts was, reputable or repeatable, I should say, against Chicago's defense. Bears defense is super opportunistic. They're going to get after the 49ers. The Bears are playing with absolutely nothing to lose now. Now the Packers lost. They secured the division. They have an outside shot at the 1 seed. They win this week. and they need a few different things to happen. So I'm not sure. Maybe the Bears feel like maybe they get their ass kicked tonight. Maybe their offense just really struggles and they can't get going. I have a feeling the defense will play well though, so I'm leaning towards under. I'll think about it a little bit more as the day goes on. But yeah, those are my thoughts for today. Good luck, good luck, good luck. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow morning and pray that we got something to talk about here as far as Ravens Steelers here in a game that matters. Because last night has the potential, whether you like it or not, to save some jobs and give the vibe that we could just run it back with a couple of tweaks. Raven fans might not want to do that, but I mean, shit, the way they played yesterday, leaning on that Packers front seven was fairly impressive. So see if Lamar's going to play, see what's going to happen, and yeah, we need the Browns here for some turnovers more than anything because they're not going 70 yards down the field 3 times. All right, that's my thoughts. Have a good day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.